a woman suddenly received a strange phone call. The caller claimed to be her future self from 20 years later, and told her 3 very important things. The first was to divorce her husband immediately, because he had already betrayed their marriage. The second was about the 2 children she adopted. They would become heartless in the future, so she needed to prepare now. The third was a warning to buy as many properties as possible right away. After hearing the call, the woman felt shocked and confused, because in the eyes of others, she and her husband were the perfect couple. She couldn't believe her husband would betray her. Her best friend noticed her unusual expression, and quickly asked what was wrong, but instead of answering, she asked if her friend's husband would ever cheat. Her friend comforted her right away, saying their relationship had always been strong, and there was no way he would. She also reminded her that her husband was currently running for supervisor, and this was a critical moment, so she shouldn't overthink it. Just then, her husband came home from work, and even brought back her favorite roast duck. Seeing how sweet they were together, her friend teased them, saying she was jealous of their fairy tale marriage. Watching her husband being so thoughtful, the woman began to feel guilty. Maybe she was just being paranoid, but she didn't notice the subtle glance exchanged between her husband and her friend before she left. During dinner, her husband showered her with sweet words, complaining about the pressure of the election, and asked if her older brothers could lend a hand. Right at that moment, their son came home. Her husband quickly changed the topic to their son, saying he was about to graduate, and should intern at her oldest brother's company. If her brother helped, their son's future would be bright, and it would benefit him as well. But the woman disagreed. In her opinion, their son was still too young and inexperienced. Sending him there would only cause trouble, so she suggested he wait a bit longer. But the son immediately got upset, and stormed off angrily. This made the woman feel frustrated, especially since it was over such a small thing. She began to wonder again if the phone call had been telling the truth. To find out if the call was real, she went to the service center with her ID, but the system was down for maintenance, so she couldn't check the call records. She had no choice but to leave. When she got home, she found her mother-in-law and sister-in-law had come uninvited. Even worse, her sister-in-law was wearing her brand new clothes and holding her mother's keepsake. The woman immediately said she didn't care about the clothes, but the bracelet had to stay. It was the only thing left by her mother. But the sister-in-law didn't care, shoved her hand away, and started calling her selfish and petty. The woman didn't want to argue. She just wanted the bracelet back, but they ended up in a scuffle, and her mother-in-law pushed her to the ground without hesitation, scolding her for not knowing her place. Just then, her husband came home and quickly helped her up. She thought he would defend her, but after hearing just one side of the story, he scolded her without hesitation. She reminded him that the bracelet was a keepsake from her mother, and if her brother asked about it, he would have to explain himself. The moment he heard her brother's name, his attitude changed. Since the election was at a critical stage, he couldn't afford any trouble, so he grabbed the bracelet from his sister and gave it back. In that moment, the woman finally realized she meant nothing compared to his family, and that thought made her recall the strange phone call again. Could those warnings really be true? That night, she received a call from her husband, saying